Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. Well, are you shopping, or did you go back to work this week? Well, either way, you can take Daily Dose Radio right along with you, because we have apps for your phone. If you have an Android device or an Apple device, it doesn't matter. We have an app. You can go out into either one of the app stores, find it. It's free. Download it. You'll have Daily Dose Radio right there at the ready, right at your fingertips. Isn't that cool? 5 minutes a day, 5 days a week, studying the Psalms verse by verse. And who doesn't need a little 5-minute Bible study when they're fighting the crowds when they're shopping? Today we're looking at verses 6 and 7. This is Psalm 28 all this week. Psalm 28 is a prayer of David, and wow, what a good one. And this prayer has been so singular. It has been so direct and so precise. He's praying for deliverance. And he basically says, if you don't listen to me, if you don't hear me, then I'm going down with the ones who go down to the pit. I'm going to be like them. And then he describes them. And he describes them in dark detail. And we have that in verse 3, we have that in verse 4, we have it in verse 5. Now we come to verse 6, and we now have the other side of the psalm. We have been actually climbing sort of a chiasm here. We began in verse 1, and the voice of the supplication was heard. And then we've made our way through the psalm to verse 5, and now in 6, we come back to this word supplication, and notice the language. Let me read it for you. Blessed be the Lord, for he has heard the voice of my supplication. The Lord is my strength and shield. In him my heart trusts. Therefore I am helped, so my heart will exult, and with my song I will thank him. So we have him praying, but now saying, you've heard me. Blessed be the Lord, not to you, O Lord, I call. No, this is the result of a man who's been heard, and now because he's been heard, he's grateful. He's grateful because his prayer's been answered, and I believe what we have here is just a simple statement of faith. We have Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. David has believed, and in his heart, because he's trusted in God's word, he now believes that he has it. He has the evidence of the thing that's not seen yet. Deliverance has come, but it's only come to David in his heart. Notice what he says. He has heard the voice of my supplication. You remember verse 2, he said, hear the voice of my supplication. Now we have in verse 6, he has heard the voice of my supplication. That is the result, ladies and gentlemen, of every prayer that you make. Don't make prayer out to be some hard thing, some mystery that you can't solve. No, prayer is straightforward. God says call, and he promises to answer. So if we call, we know there's going to be an answer. And that's exactly what's happened here. David says, well, he has heard the voice of my supplication because he's promised to answer me. And then we have this beautiful description of who the Lord is. Now, we've had a very dark description of the wicked, but now we have this beautiful description of the Lord. The Lord is. So who is this Lord? He's my strength. He's my shield. Oh, does that remind you of anything? It should. It should remind you of Psalm 18. In Psalm 18, we have David's great confession, and here we have parts of that again. David really never, I don't think, in all of the Psalter, I don't think David ever really gets done with his great confession. He doesn't get over it because he uses that language over and over again in all of the Psalms that he writes. Seems to me that it's just present there behind the scenes or as something obvious that we can see like what we have here. The Lord is my strength and shield. In him my heart trusts. Therefore I am helped, so my heart will exult, and with my song I will thank him. Now, David's a sweet psalmist of Israel, so we understand a song. But what about you? Do you have a song? Of course you do. What is it? Thank him with it today. And join me tomorrow, and we'll look at verses 8 and 9 on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.